Welcome back to Sunday Scaries with Kirsten Curious. I am Charlotte and I will be your storyteller for this evening, today, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome. So, today's story is one that creeps up on you slowly. There's no blood, no jump scares, no monsters in the traditional sense. Just a man on a quiet street who behaves in a way that makes your instincts scream. This story first appeared online years ago and has never really gone away. People argue about whether it's fiction, a dream, or something's far, far worse. You've probably heard of it. If you were born in the creepypasta era, then you most definitely have. This is The Smiling Man. Let's get to it. I was living alone at the time, in a fairly large city. I worked late nights, and because of that, I usually got home well after midnight. The streets were familiar to me. I'd walked them countless times before. I never felt unsafe. Until one night. It was around 1 a.m. when I got off the bus and I started the short walk to my apartment. The air was cool, quiet, the kind of stillness you only get when most of the city is asleep. Streetlights cast long shadows across the pavement. Everything felt normal at first. About halfway down the block, I noticed someone ahead of me. He was walking in my direction, but not quite on the sidewalk. More like drifting across the street, moving diagonally, as if he wasn't following any particular path. His posture was strange, stiff, upright, almost exaggerated. I've completely lost where I've gone because I went to go get a drink and now I don't know what the last word is that I said. Sorry, guys. Brief intermission while I find it. Did I read out that he wasn't following any particular path? Yeah, let's get back to it. His posture was strange, stiff, upright, almost exaggerated. I slowed my pace slowly, trying to get a better look. That's when I noticed the smile. It was wide, too wide, stretched unnaturally across his face like it was being pulled at the corners. Not a friendly smile, not a happy one, just fixed. He wasn't making eye contact. His head was tilted slightly downward, but his eyes were looking straight ahead. His arms swung loosely at his sides, but not in a natural rhythm. It looked rehearsed, like he was imitating the way people walk. My stomach tightened. I told myself I was overreacting. Cities have their fair share of strange people, especially late at night. So I kept walking. As we drew closer, the man suddenly stopped, right there in the middle of the street. His head turned slowly towards me. The smile never changed, though. He lifted one arm and gave a small, stiff wave. I nodded back, mostly out of reflex, but my heart was beginning to race. I tried to pass him on the opposite side of the street, increasing my pace. I didn't want to be close to him. I didn't want him near me. As I passed, I glanced at him again. He was watching me now. His head followed my movement, eyes locked onto mine, smile still carved into his face. I could see the whites of his eyes clearly under the streetlight. They were wide open, unblinking. I kept walking. I didn't run. I didn't want to draw attention. I just walked, telling myself to stay calm, telling myself that nothing was actually happening. It's all in my head. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate, behind me. I didn't look back right away. I didn't want to confirm what I already knew. The footsteps matched my pace. When I finally glanced over my shoulder, my breath caught in my throat. He was following me. Not walking normally, though. He was skipping. Not playfully, not energetically. It was stiff, awkward, like a child who hadn't quite learned how yet. His arms hung limp as he skipped, his head tilted slightly to one side. The smile was still there. It never wavered. I crossed the street, he crossed too. I sped up, he sped up. Still skipping. The sound of his shoes slapping the pavement echoing in the quiet. That's when fear really set in. Not panic yet. Something colder, more instinctive. I turned sharply into a side street, hoping to lose him, but he followed. I could hear his breathing now, slow, steady, almost relaxed. I finally broke into a jog. The footsteps behind me stopped, so I risked another glance. He was standing still again right under a streetlight, watching me jog away. His posture was perfectly straight, his arms at his sides. His smile somehow looked wider than before. I didn't stop until I reached my apartment building. I fumbled with my keys, my hands shaking so badly I dropped them twice. I threw myself inside, slammed the door, and locked it behind me. And then I stood there, listening. Silence. After a few minutes, I convinced myself it was over. Just a strange encounter, a creepy guy, nothing more. I went upstairs and tried to sleep. I don't know how long I was asleep for when I woke up, and something felt wrong. I lay still in bed, staring at the ceiling, my heart slowly beginning to pound. There was a sound coming from outside. Soft, rhythmic. I got out of bed and I went to the window. The street below was empty, bathed in the dull orange glow of the streetlights. For a moment I thought I imagined it, and then I saw him, standing directly beneath my window, looking up, smiling. His head was tilted back at an impossible angle, his neck stretched taut, his eyes locked onto mine. He didn't move, he didn't wave, he just smiled. I stumbled back from the window, my breath coming in short, panicked gasps. My heart felt like it was trying to tear its way out of my chest. When I finally forced myself to look again, he was gone. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I told myself it was a nightmare, a stress-induced hallucination, something my brain had created and then refused to let go of, until I found the note. It was taped to the inside of the building's front door, written in messy, uneven handwriting. It said, "Your smile is almost as good as mine." I moved out 2 weeks later. I've never seen him again, but sometimes when I'm walking home late at night, I catch my reflection in the dark windows, and for just a second, I'm not sure if I'm smiling. So, I've got chills, literal chills. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why the smiling man works so well. First, there's no clear explanation, no origin, no reveal. We never find out what he is. And that uncertainty does a lot of heavy lifting for this story. It makes me feel as weird as I did when I first read it as a teenager years ago. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. The human brain, it wants answers, we all know that, and when it doesn't get them, fear has to fill that gap. Secondly, the behaviour is just off enough to be wrong. Smiling too long, not blinking, moving unnaturally, mimicking human actions without understanding them. These are classic uncanny valley triggers. They hit something primal in us, something instinctual. Third, the escalation is subtle. There's no chase scene, no attack, just proximity, presence. I think it's the slow realization that this thing noticed the narrator and decided to engage and follow. And then obviously, finally, the note. So the note for me, it suggests intention, awareness, that whatever the smiling man whoever he is, it understands fear. It understands the fear, the connection to that, and it enjoyed the interaction of seeing someone feel scared. Which raises the worst question of all. If the narrator hadn't looked back at the start, would the smiling man still be watching him? Ugh. So what do you think? Was this a psychological break? A stalker with a twisted sense of humour wearing a mask? Or something wearing a human shape and learning how to be one? Let us know your theory in the comments. And remember, if someone smiles at you for too long in the dark and doesn't blink, trust your instincts. Don't be a final girl. Don't even try. Sleep tight. I'll see you next week.